Welcome to Right Side Trading, where you can learn how to trade on the right side with confidence. Today is October 8, 2016, and we are here to talk about the weekly market review. Before we do so, I would like to direct your attention to the bottom of our webpage. If you look at our disclosure statement, this area in particular is where I want to highlight right here that says that our services and products are provided solely for educational purposes. Our written and verbal statements, including those provided on our website by our staff members, testimonial individuals, affiliates, and clients, are personal judgment and should be regarded as such. These written and verbal statements do not constitute investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors. The government does want us to let you guys know that. Therefore, please, before you make any trading decisions, please make sure that you consult the advice of a licensed financial advisor. All right. So that being said, let's go to the chart for the week. And we are looking at the daily time frame right now. We are looking at the daily time frame. And it goes across the board for all the major indexes, the Russell, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the SPX, and the transportation, which are the ones that we look at. The biggest thing that we wanted to highlight based on the patterns that we've seen on the chart is just simply the fact that we are in a consolidation mode, okay? We are in what is called consolidation mode, okay? That is what we are dealing with. We're in a consolidation mode. And what does that mean? If you look at this, we can see that, let's go here. We can see that from this bottom right here, we have this right there, and we can see the market doing something similar to this, okay? And so basically we are in this consolidation, meaning that the market is going down to this bottom, coming back up to this line, coming back down to this line, going back up to that line, coming back down to this line, going back up to this line again. All right. So this is a consolidation mode right now. So that means that it is not clear yet where the market is trying to go, whether it's trying to go up or whether it's trying to go down. Now, how do we know what's going to happen is the fact that if the market does close going down, then we can see a breakout to the downside. If the market is going to close going up, we can see a breakout to the upside. Let me give you a quick example of what that looks like. If you look at a stock like, say, the GLD, which is gold, let's see here on a weekly basis. Nope, actually, that's not the one. GDX on a daily basis. Okay, we can see the same thing happening over here. Let me remove all lines quick. And what you can see is that on GDX, it was doing something like this, okay? The same type of pattern that we see on the SPX. And then when it broke down to the downside, we've been seeing it go lower. That is on the gold index, okay? You can see the same thing, too, with anything relating to gold. This is NASDAQ. This is the, I call it Nugget, but it's a gold ETF. Again, the same thing was happening right here where we had this and we saw that. And what happened was it broke down to the downside and we've had this going on. So does that mean that just because it's happening in gold, it's going to happen to the major market? That's not what I'm saying. I do not know that answer. However, what I do see is that we are in a consolidation pattern. So what do? You wait to let the market tell you which direction it's trying to go into. The same thing applies for all the major indexes. We can go to the NASDAQ, and you can see that the NASDAQ is doing something very similar to that as well. You can see the NASDAQ doing something like this. It's also in a consolidation mode. Okay, we'll go to the Russell. We see that the Russell is doing something similar as well. Excuse me. The Russell's having one of these, and we're having this consolidation right here. So the Russell is doing the same thing too. We can go to the Dow, and what we see here is a similar pattern surfacing itself, and we can even see this top one for quite some time. All right, we can see that going that way. And if we look to the Dow Transportation is kind of doing something similar to that, but maybe not as much as the others. Okay, so and the Dow Transportation, I would say, is more so range bound. Okay. We have Dow Transportation range bound. So if that is to give us any clue, then the next direction should be to the downside. So we just have to pay attention to see. One more that I did not look into is the New York Stock Composite. We have the same thing happening in here again. All right, and we have this happening right here, which is also so. We're looking at a market that is in consolidation, okay? And so again, what do? You just wait to see what direction it's trying to go into. If it closes and starts heading down lower, it's time for us to start shorting the market. If it closes go low, upper, higher, then it's time for the market to go higher. If we look at this on a bigger time frame, for those of you guys who might understand the way we look at the markets on a bigger time frame, again, we're looking at a market that has yet told us that it is truly bearish yet, but you know, we can look at this and say the setup is looking like it's trying to go down on the big market. But if we go to the SPX, and let's remove all the drawings on this, what you'll see is, again, we've been talking about this for quite some time. We said that it is not uncommon for the market to come down and test this levels right here. Now, I see a lot of people all panicking the first week of the month, and we have a down month and all that kind of stuff. But if you remember how quickly people forget that the same panic and the same fear and the same negativities that was going on back then was what was going on in the month of September, only for the market to come right back up and close basically as a doji, meaning that there was no real movement in the market, basically no real gain or loss. So the fact that this is just the first week, there's still a lot to remain that remains to be seen. The whole issue is we're still holding this line as a big support. If you break below that level right there, which is around I want to say 2114 area, you know, you want to like start looking at this as a stock that a market that is looking to go lower. Okay, but if anything, if you watch the video that we talked about last week, where we have similarities to what might be happening in 1985, this is no surprise. Just be patient, wait to see what happens, have a clear definition of what the chart is trying to show you before you do anything. Lastly, if we look at the weekly chart, not really giving us too much information by way of the fact that, again, we're just in a consolidation mode. Okay, if we look at it this way, it's possible that the market could come down here. The fact that on the weekly chart in particular is the fact that we've had 2 indecision weeks, meaning that we had higher highs and a higher low. And then we had a higher low, but we did not have a higher high. So that was indecision, saying they didn't know what it wanted to do. Well, this time around, they had another indecision. Some people call this an inside day, okay, where it didn't make a higher high, nor did it make a lower low. So that being said, how do we tell where this market is trying to go? The first thing is to take this candle right here, and if we draw a line right here, okay, at the very top, and one down here at the very bottom, okay, at the end of the week, whichever one it breaks is probably the direction that the market is trying to go in. Let's move this line, and let's remove this line, okay? So whichever one it breaks, all right, it tells us which direction it's trying to go in short term. And why do I say short term? I say short term because this is really the real marker right here, okay, because this was the one that we had right before this indecision day or inside day took place. So we draw a line right here. You can look at this as your support and resistance range, okay. Let me redraw this again. Let's remove that. Let's remove all drawings and redraw this again. Yes, okay. Want it to be a perfect straight line, so we can go right there, we can go right here, and then we can do this, and we can do this, okay? So this is what we're looking at. Until the market bounces out of these 2 ranges right here, we are looking at a market that is probably just going sideways. So, and again, we're looking on the weekly chart. So at the end of the week, until we see a chart that has closed above this line right here or closed below this line right here, we're still in a market that is just going sideways, so consolidating itself. The question is, how long would it consolidate? It won't bother me, or I would not be surprised if it consolidates for the next 3 weeks and then has a breakout after the election in November. Okay, November 8 is when we have the election, so maybe shortly after that, once the announcement is made as to who the president is, we'll see a direction as to like where the market can go. But all that is just speculation. What we try to deal with was just factual, and right now we see a market that is in fact in consolidation and needs to break above this top right here before it tells us it's trying to go higher at the end of the week, or if it closes below here at the end of the week, it tells us that it's trying to go lower. All right, so that's pretty much it. Check out our videos on www.rightside.trading.com. If you go back to our homepage, all right, take a look at our videos. You can subscribe to our courses as well as our private mentorship, as well as our market access code. Something new that we do with the market access code. So give you guys the trades that we're looking at for each month that we would be trading out of if we were to take a trade for the month. All right, and so take a look at that. Contact us if you have any questions. And again, remember to trade on the right side always with confidence.